Good evening and many thanks for joining us. Welcome to CoreTV News at 7 with me, Emmanuel Ezekiel. Nigerian troops have forced out Boko Haram insurgents from their last stronghold in Yobe State. Defense headquarters said through its Twitter feed that soldiers reclaimed Goniri on Monday morning. The latest breakthrough came a few days after the military flashed out insurgents from Adamawa State. The Lagos State Police Command says culprits behind the Lekki Bank robbery will be brought to book. Police Commissioner Kayode Aderonti made this promise as the command parades suspected armed robbers and kidnappers on Monday. Oluwaseyi Adokeke was at the police headquarters to witness the parade. Her report.
A minute's silence was first observed for the policemen who lost their lives recently in the Lekki robbery. The Lagos State Commissioner for Police, Kayode Aderonti, after assuring that the Lekki culprits will be brought to book, says the parade is to show the effort Lagos State Police is making to rid the state of crime.
On the 18th of January this year, based on follow-up of an earlier case, one Andrew Mokwe, mayor, was arrested in Onitsha, Anambra State. Upon interrogation, he confessed to have sold over 200 AK-47 rifles. Can you imagine that? Smuggled from Mali to several criminals and militants in Anambra, Rivers, Bayelsa, Abia, and Edogo, including Lagos State. Information got to me that some kidnappers are lodging at D2 Hotel with Jodu Baja here in Lagos. And they are perfecting plans to kidnap a businessman in Magodo Estate. I immediately ordered the OC SARS, SP Kerry, to move in and stop them in their tracks.
The commissioner urged the people of Lagos to continue to give useful information to the police to help them arrest miscreants.
We believe with your cooperation, with the cooperation of members of the public, giving us good information, actionable intelligence, we can assure members of the public that we do our own part of the business to hunt down all these criminals.
The kingpin of the illegal arms dealers group, Andrew Mokwe, has this to say.
There was a man they call Ablaziz Zamal. He used to buy import gun. He sold to me. So on the long run, I myself, I buy from him and sell. So when one of his customers get problem, then they come and arrest him, asking them, why did you, the people you are selling to? So he now mentioned my name, they come and arrest me.
The other group of kidnappers, which has Edet Ekuno as one of them, confesses on why he was involved.
I gave in 2012, I gave them an information about somebody and they went there to kidnap the person. The person ran away, but screamed, so they ran away. They came back and gave me 20,000 naira. And this one again, I was just called to come out, and I went there on Friday, and they were arrested on Sunday morning.
The commissioner therefore assured that the force will not rest until all the miscreants in Lagos State are arrested and charged to court. Oluwaseyi Adokeke, CoreTV News, Lagos.
The Tribunal of Inquiry set up to investigate the cause of the violence that paralyzed commercial and human activities on Ikorodu Road following the accident that led to the killing of a cyclist soldier has submitted its report recommending that the military should apologize to the state government and all Lagosians. The chairman of the Tribunal of Inquiry, Ebenezer Adebayo, said this while submitting reports of the panel to Governor Babatunde Fashola at the State House in Ikeja. Abiola Oluwole completes the story as presented from our studios.
The violence that trailed the death of a cyclist soldier as a result of an accident involving the military officer and a station black bus in July 2014 at Palm Grove bus stop along Ikorodu Road left behind vandalization of BRT buses and harassment of residents who tried to record the incident on the camera of their phones. Worried at the violence, the Lagos State government set up a tribunal of inquiry chaired by retired Justice Ebenezer Adebayo. Tasks given to the Tribunal of Inquiry included unraveling the immediate and remote causes of the incident. After several sittings and submission of evidences by affected parties in the violence, The chairman of the inquiry recommended that the military should tender an apology for the incident. Adebayo also blamed the operators of the lag bus for abandoning the vehicle that caused the accident on the road after it was left with no fuel.
The Nigerian Army should, on behalf of the 9th Brigade Ikeja Cantonment, apologize in writing to the people of Lagos State, and the apology should be published in at least 2 national newspapers. In order to reduce the constant friction between the military and bus operators, the state government should inform the military authority of the need to constantly remind its personnel of state laws, in particular the BRT regulations, and the necessity to obey them.
After collecting the report, Fashola promised the implementation of the recommendations of the tribunal after the deliberations of the State Executive Council.
We will learn from this, but not only do we expect to learn from this, I assure you that we will act on the recommendations that are ultimately acceptable to government. As you know, this will have to go through council deliberations and debates, and in the process a white paper will be issued.
Analysts, however, say the state government should ensure measures that will prevent recurrence of such an incident in future.
The People's Democratic Party Presidential Campaign Council has ranked President Goodluck Jonathan higher than his predecessor in office in the fight against corruption. This, it says, is contrary to the position of the All Progressives Congress. Spokesman for the party's campaign team, Femi Fani-Kayode, said in a statement that Jonathan has successfully plugged all loopholes which corrupt persons take advantage of to operate freely in the country. He said, on the other hand, APC presidential candidate Muhammad Buhari cannot fight corruption because he is not only surrounded by corrupt men, but also unable to give what he does not have. To justify his position, Fani-Kayode cited the agriculture reforms of the Jonathan administration with special reference to the new system for fertilizer procurement. He also claimed that the president had, through his NNPC reforms, saved the country millions of dollars in oil subsidy. In the meantime, the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Professor Atahiru Jega, says the fire that gutted the Commission's warehouse at the weekend will not affect the March 28 and April 11 elections. Speaking during a town hall meeting, Jega disclosed that the materials that were affected were those of 2011 and had no connection with the 2015 elections. He maintained that the fire was as a result of a spark from the distribution panel when power was restored to the area. The INEC chairman assured Nigerians that election materials are intact and will be deployed at the appropriate time for the elections. Ex-governor of Ekiti State, Kayode Fayemi, says the All Progressives Congress has strong evidence against President Goodluck Jonathan on his alleged plot to foist an interim government on Nigeria. He said the allegation made by the national leader of the APC, Bola Tinubu, that his life is being threatened confirmed the desperation of the People's Democratic Party-led federal government and Jonathan. Fayemi, who was speaking in Aromoko, Ekiti on Saturday during the 40-day Fidal prayer for late Jejelola Akingbolu and Raliat Akingbolu, also lambasted Governor Ayodele Fayose for allegedly lying against the APC presidential candidate Muhammad Buhari over his health status. We'll go for a very quick break. The news returns shortly. Stay with us.
Don't you wish your mommy was fine like mine? Yeah. Don't you wish your mommy was smart like mine? Yeah. Don't you? Don't you wish your mommy could laugh like mine?
And that's why every mom should take 3 Crowns milk with low cholesterol to help stay fit and healthy so she can take extra care of her family.
Don't you wish your wifey was hot like mine?
3 Crowns now comes in powder.
Welcome back. You're watching CoreTV News at 7. You can reach us on our following social media platforms: Facebook, facebook.com/CoreTV News. and our Twitter handle at CoreTV News NG. And our YouTube channel, youtube.com/CoreTV, leave a space, and then news. Former Aviation Minister Femi Fani-Kayode has slammed the All Progressives Congress for running newspaper advertorials, what he described as renounced and outdated views about President Goodluck Jonathan. Fani-Kayode, who is now spokesman for the People's Democratic Party's presidential campaign, described the action as a measure of desperation on the part of the opposition party. He said in a statement issued in Abuja that he was surprised that APC has resorted to buying full-page adverts and outdated quotes about President Goodluck Jonathan from old essays he wrote while he was in their ranks. The PDP campaign spokesman said he renounced those views about President Goodluck Jonathan long ago and has since returned to the ruling party. He, however, reminded APC that one of its chieftains, Nasir El-Rufai, had once described General Buhari as outdated and unelectable, and that its national leader, Bola Tinubu, also once said Buhari was obsessed with power, wicked, sadistic, and unreliable. Fani-Kayode noted that in spite of the advertorials, he would continue to focus attention on APC and its leaders. Meanwhile, a former governor of Adamawa State, Murtala Nyako, has asked the presiding judge of the Abuja Division of the Federal High Court, Justice M.G. Umar, to return his suit, challenging his removal from office in July 2014 to the Yola Division, so that the judgment already preserved in the suit can be delivered. Justice Bilikisu Aliyu, who presided over the case in Yola Division of the court, had on February 2nd, 2015 concluded hearing the suit and adjourned for judgment before the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court, Justice Ibrahim Auta, transferred the case to Bauchi. Justice Auta had withdrawn the suit from Justice Aliyu on the account of a pending petition before the date already fixed for judgment, February the 12th. Justice Auta had transferred the case to Bauchi after 3 weeks of withdrawing the suit from Justice Aliyu. Nyako, through his counsel, Mr. Olukoya Ogunbeje, had queried the basis of withdrawal of the suit and its subsequent transfer to Bauchi. In his letter dated March 12, 2014, Ogunbeje informed Justice Umar that his court lacked jurisdiction to entertain the suit. The lawyer therefore urged the judge not to hear the case but to order it to be transferred back to Yola. Nyako's fresh letter came ahead of March 17, 2015, the date which the matter has been scheduled to come up before Justice Umar. Staying with judicial matters, the Federal High Court in Abuja has ordered the extradition of Abdul Adewale Kekereekun to the United Kingdom, where he is wanted for murder-related offences. Justice Ahmed Mohammed approved Kekereekun's extradition after his lawyers dropped their objection to the request brought by the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation in the face of compelling argument. Kekereekun is to be extradited back within 15 days from the date of the ruling. He is wanted by the UK government for the murder of one Marcus Hall, an 18-year-old who was beaten and stabbed to death 14 years ago outside a nightclub in Luton, England. The rest of the culprits have been prosecuted and jailed in the UK, but Kekereekun has been on the run until his arrest in Nigeria for identity theft. A federal high court in Lagos has declared as unlawful the restriction of citizens' movement during the monthly Lagos Environmental Sanitation Exercise. Justice Mohammed Idris, in a judgment delivered on Monday, 16th of March 2015, held that such restriction of movement in the name of sanitation amounts to a violation of the citizens' rights to personal liberty and freedom of movement protected by sections 35 and 41 of the Constitution. He therefore voided the power of the Lagos State government and its agents to arrest any citizen found moving between 7 and 10 a.m. on the last Saturday of every month when the environmental sanitation exercise is observed. Now, family members of victims of the recent spate of political violence in Oyo State and, of course, Accord Party have cried out for justice on those responsible for the death of their loved ones, as well as pleading for assistance to enable them to move ahead with a life after the loss Omotayo paid a visit to the homes of 3 victims who lost their lives at a political gathering organized by Accord Party and brought in this report.
The gnashing of teeth and lamentation continue for family members of victims of the recent political violence that rocked the Odinjo area in Ibadan. This unemployed mother of 2, Mofuliatu Mutiu, says the news of her husband's sudden death has been a major source of heartache, stating that his personality as an easygoing citizen is undeserving of the fate that recently befell him. A visit to late Lateef Akinyemi's home presented further proof of the pain that persists among family members of the victims. For the mother, 1 out of 4 wives, and the daughter of the 3 children the 30-year-old deceased left behind, government should intervene in their case and render the necessary assistance they can to the family.
Nobody that is going to take care of the children, except the government should just help me and take care of these children.
She should send me to school.
Okay. What can you say about your daddy as a young man?
I can't send.
Okay. So you want those that you want the government to send you to school?
Yes.
Mother of late 18-year-old Sharafa Adedeji Basira Adedeji said the last she saw of her son on the Sunday morning was when he left home for church, only to receive the news of his death a few hours later. She stated that life has been unbearable for her after the loss of her last son, who was the only companion she had with her. With deeming hope of what the future might bring to them after their loss, these relatives of victims of the political violence have charged the government to provide adequate security for residents, while also advising politicians to exercise civility and discourage all forms of thuggery to prevent future occurrence. Omotayo Alo, CoreTV News, Ibadan.
The chairman of Barkin Ladi local government area in Plateau State has called on the federal government to come to their aid of his area to salvage it from the invading insurgents that are escaping the firepower of the Nigerian military in the northeastern part of the country. Emmanuel Loman, who is also the vice president of Algon, says that the same treatment and military attention being given to security crisis in Borno, Adamawa and Yobe states should be given to Barkin Ladi.
We've discovered that the insurgents have penetrated Barkin Ladi local government. With the drastic effort that the government is trying to dislodge them from Borno, Yobe, and Adamawa State, a lot of them have run to Barkin Ladi local government. So this call for an emergency. The federal government need to put Barkin Ladi on alert, need to come in with security agency to go right into Barkin Ladi town and the environment to search for these insurgents.
The LG boss added that if urgent steps are not taken to nip the activities of the Plateau insurgents in the bud, they could grow strong someday and overrun the special task force, helping to maintain law and order in the state.
If urgent actions are not being taken, believe me, it's going to be another disgrace to the entire country, as it is the case in Maiduguri and other places. We've tried our best as a government in the local government, but it's beyond the local government itself. The state has also tried by putting in all the machineries in place to ensure that peace reign in the local government. But we have some elements in the local government that are bent, that are conniving with insurgents to ensure that they create havoc to the citizens.
now to public health. In a recent concerted efforts to eradicate poliovirus in Nigeria, the Rotary International organization, which has been on the mission of eradication since 1985, has assured the total elimination of the virus in less than 2 years if the tempo for the prevention is sustained. At a training held in Ibadan for leaders of different clubs, the governor, Rotary International District 9125, Tolulope Wogbeyi, says the key of living a good life in a guaranteed safe environment is when individuals make up their minds to be a gift to the world. The report.
With the latest positive update on the imminent possibility of recording a zero case of polio in Nigeria, given by the Vice Chairman, Rotary International Polio Plus Committee, Kazim Mustafa, who also added that the effort of the current federal administration is of great benefit to the record of such success.
Throughout 2014, we had only 6 cases. We have never been that close. That means we're really very close to the finish line. We only need to maintain the zero status in 2015 up to July. And then, if we're able to do that, we have succeeded in interrupting the transmission of white polio virus.
This member of the non-government organization, who's worked assiduously in the struggle against polio, says a major setback to the progress of the cause is illiteracy and misinformation on the part of the people.
There are places where, because of illiteracy and ignorance, people have spread undue propaganda that when you allow your children to take the polio vaccine, it makes them impotent. A lot of things go with it.
Speaking on the importance of humanitarian and community service, the governor of the Rotary International District 9215, Tolu Omogbayi, stated that Nigeria's problems can be solved if Nigerians express the willingness to be of help to one another.
You may say you've only had one meal today. There are people who have not even had a meal maybe in 2 days, you know. So no matter the condition you find yourself, you see that you are even better than somebody out there, and you are willing to give out of the little you have, you know, to help somebody else. That is all.
For Labour Party governorship candidate in Ilorin and the incoming district governor of the organization, Michael Omotosho, says the moment politicians saw leadership as an opportunity of selfless service to people who have entrusted their lives in them by voting them in, the better future for the country.
We're not doing campaigns, we're not doing rallies, we're going to the people, we're going into communities, we're going into rural areas. We're finding out what is it that they truly need in those communities. That way we don't take what they do not need to them. I tell people, why can't we as a body in Kwara State, let everybody see what is coming in from government, let everybody see what the internally generated revenue is every month, and then let everybody see where we're spending this money into. Then everybody is accountable, we know. And then you can truthfully demand for what you think you should be yours.
The gathering also witnessed lectures and becoming influential ambassadors of the organization, with the ripple effect of grooming the future generation. Omotayo Alo, CoreTV News, Ibadan.
You're still watching CoreTV News at 7. We'll go for a quick break. When the news returns, news outside Nigeria. Stay with us.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website, www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then news. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station.
Welcome back. Straight to news outside Nigeria. Pope Francis has condemned 2 suicide attacks on churches in Pakistan and accused the world of seeking to hide the persecution of Christians. The spiritual leader of Roman Catholics worldwide described terrorist attacks against 2 Christian churches in Lahore as painful after his weekly Angelus prayer in Rome. 14 people were killed and more than 70 injured when 2 Taliban suicide bombers attacked the churches in the city of Lahore on Sunday. While praying, he also added that the persecution against Christians that the world seeks to hide comes to an end and that there is peace. Pope Francis has regularly condemned violence against Christians in Iraq and Syria and other regions, often at the hands of Islamic militants. And that's our package for 7. Do join us later on as we bring you the reporter after the news. Stay with us. I'm Emmanuel Ezekiel.